In this video, then we will discuss about the overview of the cell. What are the components present in the cell, and we do compare the plant cell as well as the animal cell. For our discussion, then we will take a cheek cell, which is a typical example for the animal cell, and a onion peel cell, which is a typical example for the a plant cell. Here is the example for the typical animal cell. Here we have taken the nasocyanal cell, which is equal to the cheek cell. So this is the typical animal cell, and here then we can see the typical plant cell, that is onion peel cell. Then let us discuss what are the components present in the case of these plant cells and as well as the animal cells. What are the common features and what are the variations with respect to the plant cells as well as the animal cells. In both these plant cell as well as in the case of animal cell, the common structures include the cell membrane and the nucleus and the cytoplasm. So these are the common features present both in the case of plant cell as well as the animal cell. Then coming to the cell membrane. So here this cell membrane, otherwise known as plasma membrane, this can be defined as phospholipid bilayer with embedded, means integral or attached, that means peripheral proteins, and separate the cell's internal content from its surrounding environment. Here you can see that then this is the delimiting layer, that means that forms boundaries to the cell. Here this is the plasma membrane, you can see here, and this is the plasma membrane, otherwise known as cell membrane, that forms the boundaries to the cell. This is the plasma membrane, and this is the lipid bilayer. We can see the two layers here. This is the lipid bilayer which delimits, which forms boundaries to the cell. Then these are the lipid bilayers we can see here. This is the phospholipid bilayer here. Usually this is with hydrophilic head as well as this hydrophobic tail regions. These hydrophobic tail regions are present inwards. Then if you look at that proteins also, this is the typical arrangement of the plasma membrane. Here we can see the both proteins, peripheral as well as integral protein, and these are the peripheral proteins which are attached to the, which are present on surface of the plasma membrane. And here we can see the integral membrane proteins. These are buried in the plasma membrane or embedded within the plasma membrane. So here mainly it contains a lipid bilayer. Next one, the proteins which are attached to the surface are called as the peripheral membrane proteins, and the proteins which are buried or embedded within the membrane are known as the integral membrane proteins. Then after this, the other common feature present both in the case of animal cells as well as a plant cell is the nucleus. Then nucleus, to define the nucleus, so nucleus is the cell organelle that houses the cell's DNA and directs ribosomes and protein synthesis. That means this is the nucleus is the place or cell organelle that houses the cell's DNA, that is the genetic material, and directs ribosomes and protein synthesis. Let us see where it is present. So usually this nucleus is the dense membrane, a bound structure present in the cytoplasm. This is a dense membrane bound structure present in the cytoplasm, and inside this particular nucleus usually chromosomes are present. These chromosomes in turn they contain genetic material, that is DNA, along with the histone proteins. Then here we can see the nucleus here, a cell in the, it's a dense cell organelle present in the cytoplasm, and then this is the nucleus. Inside this nucleus chromosomes are present. Usually these chromosomes, they contain the DNA. This is a double helical structure, and this is associated with the histone proteins. That means while packing the DNA, these histone proteins are useful for the packing of the DNA. So these chromosomes are present inside the nucleus. Based on the presence or absence of the true nuclear membrane, usually organisms are classified into two categories. They are prokaryotic as well as eukaryotic organisms. In the case of prokaryotic organisms, usually they don't possess the well-defined nuclear membrane. But whereas in the case of the organisms which possess the nuclear membrane, the organisms which possess the well-defined nuclear membrane are known as the eukaryotic organisms. So here then this nuclear membrane can be defined as, this is the double membrane structure that constitute the nucleus outermost portion. That means that delimit the nucleus from the rest of the cytoplasmic content. Then coming to the other important common point, common structure present with the both animal cell as well as plant cell is the cytoplasm. And cytoplasm is the semi-fluid matrix present inside the cell. Here we can see that the plasma membrane, you can see here inside the plasma membrane, then this semi-fluid matrix is known as the cytoplasm. So in this cytoplasm, usually membrane bound organelles as well as non-membrane bound organelles are present. So membrane bound organelles like endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi complex, lysosomes and mitochondria, microbodies and vacuoles. These are the membrane bound organelles. These membrane bound organelles are absent usually in the case of prokaryotes, and usually these membrane bound organelles are present in the case of eukaryotes organisms. Then in the cytoplasm, non-membrane bound organelles are also present. So usually these are present both in the case of eukaryotic as well as prokaryotic organisms. Non-membrane bound organelles are present both in the case of prokaryotes and eukaryotic organisms. So then the best examples are ribosomes. These ribosomes are present in the case of mitochondria and in the case of rough endoplasmic reticulum. So in the case of mitochondria and in the rough endoplasmic reticulum, so both from the plant cells and animal cells represent the presence of these ribosomes. And apart from this, in the case of these eukaryotic cells, this chloroplast also, that means in the case of plant cells, the chloroplast also contains the ribosomes, but the type of ribosomes will be different. Here we do see some variations with respect to the plant as well as animal cell. So in the case of plant cells, so usually they contains a cell wall. Cell wall is the unique feature of the plant cell. This cell wall is absent in the case of animal cells. To define this cell wall is the rigid covering comprised of various molecules that protects the cell, provides structural support as well as that gives shape to the cell. This cell wall is the unique feature when we compare with the animal cell. In the case of plant cells only, we find the presence of the cell wall. Here we can see the cell wall here that maintains the shape. Yeah, cell wall. Yeah, this is the cell wall present in the case of plant cells, and this is the unique feature when we compare with the animal cells. Then coming to the unique feature present in the case of animal cells, which is absent in the case of plant cell, let us see that. And coming to the unique feature that is present only in the case of animal cells and that is absent in the case of a plant cell is the non-membrane bound organelle called centriole. These centrioles are present only in the case of animal cells and that is useful for the cell division. Let us see what are these centrioles and how these are present. These centrioles are rod-like structures constructed of microtubules at the center of each animal cell. If you look at this one, even these centrioles are being involved in the cell division. Here we can see that these are the centrioles. These centrioles are present in the centrosome. So here these are the centrioles. These are the rod-like structures constructed with the microtubules. These are the triplets of the microtubules. You can see here 9 triplets of microtubules. Then that constitute the centriole here. Usually these two centrioles are present here. Then this centrosome is the region in the animal cell that made up of two centrioles that serves as an organizing center for the microtubules. Here this is the centrosome here. Then this centrosome with these two centrioles which are arranged perpendicular to each other, they are being involved in the cell division. These centrioles are made with microtubules. These are the unique features in the case of animal cells, and these are absent in the case of plant cells. Then when you look at the comparison or the analysis of the animal cell with the plant cell, we can see that the presence of the true nucleus and the presence of the membrane bound organelles in the case of eukaryotic organisms, both in the case of plants as well as in the case of a plant cell as well as in the case of animal cell also we can observe this. Yeah, true nucleus we can see here. Usually the another unique feature of this plant cell is the presence of the central vacuole. This central vacuole is usually that occupies minimum of 30% volume in the cytoplasm. In some cases even that can reach up to 90% of the cytoplasmic volume, and then automatically that pushes the nucleus towards one side. And here we can see the nucleus. Then this is considered as the eukaryotic organisms, and ribosomes and Golgi apparatus, mitochondria, peroxisomes, plastids, chloroplast, and cytoskeleton, central vacuole, cytoplasm, plasma membrane, cell wall in the case of plant cell, and plasma desmata. These are the cellular junctions. These are the features present in the case of plant cell. And when you look at this animal cell, then here also all are compared to that of the plant cells except one or two variations. Here also we can see the cytoskeleton, centrosomes, then intermediate filaments and microfilaments, and the plasma membrane, lysosomes, Golgi apparatus, cytoplasm, that is the semi-fluid matrix, mitochondria, vacuoles, endoplasmic reticulum, both rough endoplasmic reticulum and smooth endoplasmic reticulum, peroxisomes, and with respect to the nucleus also we can see these features: the nucleolus, chromatin, as well as the nuclear envelope. That means here in the case of both in the case of plant cell as well as animal cells, we find many comparisons. The size as well as the shape of the cell that varies from organism to organism, or even within the organism also, based on the function they are performing, that shape as well as size of these particular cells will be different. So for example, in the case of mycoplasma, that is the smallest known living organism, and the size is 0.3 micrometers, and the bacteria is 3 to 5 micrometers, and the ostrich egg, that is the single largest single egg, and human RBC that comes closer to the 7 micrometers, and the nerve cell is the longest cell. And mainly here that shape of the cell purely depends on the activity what it is performing. Here we can see the relative sizes of microbes on the logarithmic scale. Yeah, 0.1 nanometers to 1 nanometer, 10 nanometers, 100 nanometers, 1 micrometer, and this is the scale here. And usually these atoms are at the 0.1 nanometers. And next one, these lipids and the protein molecules, which range from 1 nanometer to 10 nanometers. Then the flu virus, usually we see that it is lesser than 100 nanometers. Even our coronavirus also comes somewhere close to this one. And here we can see the bacteria, which is comprising a size of 1 micrometer to 7 micrometers in this scale. Next one, close to the 10 micrometers, we can see the plant cell as well as the animal cells, and the human egg cell close to the 100 micrometers, and the frog egg is near to the 1 millimeter. Next one, this is chicken egg and ostrich egg, which is closer to the 100 millimeters. And this is a typical human cell. That means to compare the sizes of the particular cell, but actually humans are the multicellular organisms. When you compare animal cell with the plant cell, we find many similarities with one or two exceptions which are more specific to their particular cells.